Hello, welcome to the video. Going to be quickly running through the 13 commandments for six-figure freelance success, because six figures is apparently the level that we all aspire to hit. Either way, let's get into it. So, who the fuck am I to be telling you about this? For the last 8 or 9 years, since I've been freelancing, I've grown my freelance writing business to the six figures level twice. I've watched the business collapse because I had an eye injury, which cost me an arm and a leg because the eye injury happened in Mexico, but it manifested a week later in New York. And that American healthcare is so cheap. So after went from six figures to almost losing an eye, revenue was down to zero, rebuilt the business on an agency model back up to six figures. But the personal profit was lower. A higher revenue, but personal profit was lower. And there's a message in there for not believing everything that you hear online about, I grew this wonderful business. There's a lot of costs with growing a bigger business. In those 8 or 9 years, I've worked with many different, particularly software as a service firms. Now, the success was not down to me entirely, of course. There's huge teams in some of these places. But for the companies that I've worked with, and I've worked very close with these people working towards getting VC funding, and over the years, the businesses that I've helped have generated over or received over 25 million in total VC funding. So I've been around some impressive growth. One company who I was very closely working with gave me an equity share in the company. I helped them grow from $3,000 a month right from when they started pretty much to $250,000 a month within 18 months. Long story short, I've grown my business twice. I've been around a lot of people who've grown way more impressive businesses than mine. And I've seen a lot of different ways to approach how to grow a business. Ways that are going to be useful to you, because a lot of freelancers view what they do as a freelancer, not as a business owner. It's a weird distinction, but one that's very, very important, because you ask most freelancers, if you're at a party, say, what is it you do? And they'll say, I write for money, like basically. I write whatever articles for this kind of blog or industry niche, whatever, for money. You say, that sounds interesting. They'll go, it's all right, it's not great. These people aren't earning a ton of money. Business owners, on the other hand, will say, I own a content marketing business, I own a copywriting business, I own a whatever business, email marketing business, whatever. These guys are fucking serious about what they do. They know that this is a business. They know that, they have to have that very business mindset if they want to get past like the low 5 figures a year. The difference in the way that they approach it as a freelancer is very sort of ad hoc. There's no planning involved. Everything's last minute. They wake up on a Monday and go, shit, I need some more clients. I better do some like outreach emails right now. How they do those outreach emails is they just sort of throw a bunch of stuff out there. There's no process. They don't have a system set up to help them do this at scale, to get a lot of those out, to get better results back in. It's more of a hobby than a business at the end of the day, and it might pay the rent or just barely pay the rent, but it's never going to earn them a ton of money. Business owners, on the other hand, everything is planned out. I've planned out my entire 2020. Before New Year hit, I had the whole of 2020 planned out. I spent 2 or 3 months last year working out a whole new process for a new service that I was going to provide with my accountability partner. Shout out to Dan. Just so that I can sell this as a proper service. And after working out the process, it's going to take 1 hour of my time and I'll be able to sell it for $500. Wonderful. Because I'm dealing with this 100% as a business, which is a lot of the things that we're going to go into in a minute. When you're a freelancer and you approach things as like a hobby, you're not going to succeed. You're going to have minimal success. But if you approach things as a business, if you plan things out, work out your processes, be ambitious, do things that make you uncomfortable, do everything that a traditional business owner would do, incredible success. And so what we're going to go through today is how to go from struggling freelancer to successful business owner. How can we do that? These 13 commandments should help you get there. Now, these are not actions. This is not like send this email to this person at this time of day. These are higher level mindsets, because that is the most important thing. The way that you analyze, deal with things is so much more important than the actions that you can take. Action is the most important, but it's the way that you approach and deal with the actions that need to be taken that is so very important. So let's get into it. Crossed out freelancer, because fuck that, we don't want to be a freelancer, we want to be a writing business owner. Ambitious goals lead to impressive results. If you're shooting for 100 grand a year, you're going to take much bigger actions. Small goals result in small actions, which result in small results. Like, it's not necessarily going to take you longer to earn 100 grand than it is 10 grand. If you're aiming to hit 10 grand, you will hit 10 grand. Guaranteed. That's it. Woo, great. If you aim for 100, now you might not hit 100, but you might get 20, 30, 40, 50, anything between 0 and 100. You've got a much better chance of success if you shoot for the moon. Was it the Kanye West lyrics? Shoot for the moon, so if you fall, you land on a star. Or cloud. Fuck, I can't remember. Either way, ambitious goals lead to impressive results. Nobody ever started a business wanting to be average. Nobody said, I can't wait to grow old in my average house, take average vacations with my average partner. Nobody wants that. It's fucking ridiculous. Be ambitious. Get your balls out. Say something fucking ridiculous with your goals. And yeah, you might not reach it, but you'll achieve so much more just by having an ambitious goal, because it leads to much more ambitious, bigger actions, which bring bigger, better results. Simple. It's a very, very simple, different thing. But so many freelancers are just like, I just want to make $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month ain't a lot of money when you take out your business costs and then tax. It's fuck all. Ain't nothing. You can do way better than that. Shoot big. Go for it. Don't ask for permission. Do the thing you want to get paid for. A lot of content marketing is, to put it bluntly, fucking shit. You got these people who have never done the thing that they're writing about. They will go out, they'll research 3 or 4 articles, and they'll put it together in a new piece to make it original. And they wonder why nobody's engaging with that article, no clients are reaching out to them. Because all that basically is you might as well sit on the side of the streets with a sign saying, please hire me, I write words good. Who cares? But if you're out there doing a thing that you want clients to pay you for and you're getting good results, clients will be like, shit, this person really fucking knows what they're doing. We need them in our business. So if you want to write email sequences for e-commerce, set up a free e-commerce store, create a little email list for it, and just test. And then say, like, this is how I generated $1,000 with a single email or something. That will get the attention of people who are trying to make money through email marketing much better than these 7 tips for better email marketing that has been rehashed 1,000 times on the internet. Don't ask other people for permission to do what it is you want to do. Just start fucking doing it. You start doing it, and then other people will turn up. Which brings us on to the next point, which is help yourself. Nobody else is going to help you. I spent a good 12 to 18 months looking for a mentor. And all I was doing was I was emailing people that I'd worked with in the past, people that I admired, and I got a lot of phone calls with these people. But all I was saying was like, please help me. I want to take my business to the next level. How can I do this? Nobody helped me, because thinking about it from being in a similar position but on a much smaller scale, I get a number of emails every week of people asking me how they can do X, Y, or Z better, right? I don't have the time to respond to each one individually. It's just unfeasible for me to do so. And I know from my own experience that a lot of the people who ask me for advice will never put it into action. So when you're getting dozens of these every week of people saying, please help me achieve this, please help me do that, and you know that a lot of the people are never going to do anything with that information, why would you bother? But if you're out there actively trying, and somebody sees that you're trying, but you're getting something slightly wrong, or even you reach out to them going, look, I've been doing this, I'm not getting the results that you kind of are, what am I doing wrong? People will be like, oh shit, this person really is giving it a go. There's a great quote from Chris Rock here, which is a far more succinct way of putting it. Used to have horrible cars because I never had money, so I'd always end up broken down on the highway. When I stood there trying to flag someone down, nobody stopped. When I pushed my own car, other drivers would get out and push with me. If you want to help yourself. People like to see that. So fucking true. Just start trying to educate yourself. Start trying to hone your skills yourself right now. And other people, it attracts other ambitious people. It's a much, much better way to do things. Growth comes from focusing on your audience, not copying what your competitor is doing. I work with a lot of different businesses, and it really fucking pains me when the business says, oh, so let's say, let's just pick an industry leader like Shopify. They'll go, yeah, but Shopify does this. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what Shopify does, because you're not Shopify. Shopify has great success, don't get me wrong, they're a wonderful business. But you don't know, one, if what your competitor is doing is working. You don't know how they came to the conclusion that this is the right thing to do. You don't know if your audience is the same as their audience, if there's 100% overlap or anything. So stop looking at the competition, what they're doing. You've got to find inspiration from the people that you are trying to sell to. So if that's a service, it's your clients. Like, what can you do to make your clients' lives easier? Ask them that question and then offer it to them as a service. If you're selling things to the consumer, do the same thing. What is it that you can do to make their lives easier? And then sell that to them. Sell it to them in their own words. So stop trying to focus on what the other copywriter over here is doing, what that email marketing guy over there is doing. You do you. There's only one of you. If you start copying everybody else, it is quite apparent that it's a copy. It's disingenuous. Just don't do it. Find inspiration from your audience, the people that you're trying to help, not from what other people in the industry are doing. Because all that does is it leads to a shit carbon copy that everybody knows is a shit carbon copy and nobody else is going to really enjoy. What's the one thing you can do to get to your goal faster? So whatever your goal is, it could be to land 10 clients a month. It could be to make $5,000 a month. It could be even something smaller, like send 5 emails per day. What's the one action you can do to make that easier, faster, more profitable, whatever? Try and tie everything back to a singular action. Because let's say you want to land a couple more clients every month, you've got a set number in mind, and you could go, right, so I need to do, Twitter outreach, I need to do LinkedIn outreach, I need to do emails, I need to do da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. When you're splitting your attention like that, it takes forever for them all to get to where you want it to be. But especially when you're not a huge business, you don't have the time or the resources to really do that well. So find the one thing that brings the best results and just put all of your fucking energy into that. What is that one thing that you can do that will get you to your goal faster, that will help you hit your revenue goals a little quicker? Whatever it is that's going to be faster, more profitable, whatever, do that one fucking thing. And do it over and over and over and over and over again. Find it, kill it, do it. Done. This is a weird one, right? You have to be really quite ruthless with your business. And I'm not saying this in the sense of, you don't need to be the backstabbing billionaire that, we all love to think these rich people are horrible people who backstab others for their own gain. It's not about that. You have to be ruthless with your business. If something isn't working, kill it. Get fucking rid. Because you've only got a finite amount of time and energy in any given day. If you're wasting energy and time on things that don't help you grow or help you reach the goals that you've set for yourself, why are you doing that? You want to get rid of those things that aren't helping so you can spend more time on the things that are bringing results. But so many freelancers I see still waste time on action A, B or C because they like it or they heard from somebody else that it works. Again, it comes back to focusing on you and your audience. What's going to help build that relationship? What's going to help people come to you? If it ain't working, get rid of it. I should also say that the things that I put in no and yes on this slide are they're picked. They're not, you might find that paid ads work wonderfully for you. But whatever it is, stop doing what doesn't work. Processes may be boring, but they do get shit done. Processes are key to be able to do the same thing over and over again with the same level of quality in a much faster period of time. If you don't have a process, every time you sit down at your computer, you're going to be thinking, right, what do I do now? What do I do now? But if you actually have a process, even a written down process of like step 1, do this, map out subheads. Step 2, check, if it fits to a formula that to work in whatever industry and whatever deliverable. Step 3, do this. Step 4, do that. So much easier. You don't have to waste your, sort of energy for making decisions on what should I do now. It's just there. So you can put all of your energy into actually doing the fucking thing. It gets you to the goal much faster. And another benefit is once you get to a size where you can outsource it, you can just give that process to employee number 1 and say, this is how we do X. And then you've basically duplicated yourself. So the value's not, the quality's not going to go down. You can still sell it at the same value. Perfect. But processes, they're not sexy, but they're fucking necessary. Really necessary. Next. Don't work entirely alone. It's easy to think that, I'm going to sit behind my desk right here, and this is all based on me. this freelancing business. So I just need to sit here and I just need to work harder, but work smarter, not harder. Grow your network with other people in your industry. So your competitors are some of your best network people, because you might get a job through that you can't do, but they can. So you just send them that job. They'll do the same to you in the future. If you've got something new, they'll help with promotion. Whatever it is, having a decent network around you will help you grow your business. Nobody is a self-made whatever. Everybody has had help on the way. And in the article that's linked to this video, there is a good quote from Arnold Schwarzenegger about how he is not a self-made man, but everyone always refers to him as a self-made man. Anyway, focus intently on your primary goal and do not deviate. So let's say that you want to make 100 grand this year and you've picked your deliverable. Let's just say it's case studies. And so, you do your first couple of case studies at $500. Then the next one after you've got a bit more experience is at $1,000. And then the next one after that could be 5, 10, 15, whatever. It just keeps going up. And maybe not the value keeps going up, but because you've got the processes in place, you can keep just churning them out. But then somebody comes along and they say, I need a blog post. Here's $500 to do it. Do you take it? Nope. Because it's not on that path that you've envisioned for yourself for you to get from where you are now to your goal. It's a deviation, it's a distraction. It should not be taking up any of your headspace. You say, you know what, that's really great. I can't do it. Here's somebody who might be able to. Because when you pull your attention away from these processes that you've set up and how you're going to hit your goal, it ruins all of that momentum that you're building. You've got to be fucking laser focused on what it is that you're doing. You've got to keep to it. Even if somebody comes up with $500, $500 is great, but in the same amount of time it will take you to do that, you could do 2 of whatever else that you're offering for $1,000 or $2,000. Stick to your goal. Focus on it. Do not deviate. Diversify your fucking income. A lot of freelancers get one client and that's it. Problem is, nobody's job is secure. My job as a freelancer, my wife's job as an employee, anybody in the world, nobody's job is secure. You could, if you're a salaried employee, you could walk in tomorrow and the boss could fire you. The business could go bankrupt, whatever. Nobody's job is secure. Job security is a fucking myth. So what you've got to do, whether you are doing this freelance thing as a side hustle or it's your main thing, diversify your income. Now, as a freelance writer, you are a creator. You create things for a living. People pay you for a written breakdown of your opinions, ideas, whatever. So do more of that. Because if you've only got one income stream that disappears, you're down to $0 per month. But if you've got 5 income streams, each one generates $1,000. It's $5,000 a month, right? If one of them loses, if one of them is gone, you're only down to 4,000. So diversify it. Look at different things, and a few ideas off the top of my head that you can do is like Kindle Direct Publishing. Write a little ebook that is aimed at your target audience and sell it. I know guys who are making a couple of grand a month just off these little ebooks that they've done. Affiliate marketing. If you've grown even a small audience, see if there's any products out there that could really help them run a better whatever it is that you help them with. Sell it to them for a commission. Merchandising. Again, it's great to practice your email marketing skills if you've got a bit of merchandise up there. Speaking gigs, if you want to be seen as the expert. All of these different things can add into your income streams, and they just add a little bit of security to an otherwise fluctuating business. Turning up. Just turn the fuck up, man. I've had somebody in the past who had a job. This was when I was, growing out in an agency where I had a number of writers who were contractors, and this one guy, I gave him this job, and I gave him like 3 weeks to do it, to write, I think, 3 articles. Done all the research, just handed it off to do the main chunk of writing. And throughout those 3 weeks, I was like, oh yeah, how's it going? It's great. Day before they're due, he emails me back and he says, I've not even started. I had to sit up all night, never worked with him again. Fuck him, dead to me. But turning up is about more than just doing what you say you're going to do. You see, a lot of people today are about consistency, like turn up every week in people's inboxes or whatever. I disagree. I could turn up every week in your inbox, but if I've got fuck all to say, I'm just going to piss you off, right? Turning up is about turning up with something of value. It's about adding to the conversation. It's about helping somebody overcome an issue. If you don't have anything useful to say, don't think that you have to say it to keep consistent. In particularly football here in the UK, you might have your favourite player playing on the football team, but if they don't perform well, you say he didn't turn up. Don't be that person. Turn up. Be there and be aggressive with your message and getting it in front of the right people when it offers value. If it doesn't offer value, don't do it. Turning up is more than just doing what you say you're going to do and being consistent and being on time. It's about doing all of that with value. Engage with your audience and community in real life. You see, when you go to these conferences and you're talking to other people and then you talk to the organisers and all of this sort of stuff, you grow your network, which was important, obviously, for a couple of points above this one or before this one. You have to do that because growing that network is key to growing your business. But it also opens up more opportunities. The more of these in real life events you go to, the more prominent you will be seen as, in terms of your knowledge and your expertise, and the better chance you have at being like a speaker at these things, which is going to, just skyrocket your perceived value. But if you spend all of your time behind your laptop and stuff, you'll never become anything more than somebody who just sits behind a laptop, and that massively, massively limits the amount of money you'll be able to earn. So get out there and just go talk to people, find groups nearby, like, writing groups, marketing groups that aren't writing or marketing, but that will need a good writing service. Go to those guys. They'll fucking love you. If you're the only writer there, bingo. Your fuck-ups are generally forgotten within 2 weeks. It's easy to think, especially when you work on your own, like, oh, I can't send this email to this person because it's not ready. Oh my God, it had a typo in it, whatever. Mate, no one cares. I embarrass myself all the time. And I guarantee in 2 weeks, the most somebody will ever remember about me embarrassing myself is, do you remember when this guy did that? Yeah. But they could walk past me on the street the day after. They won't remember it was me. No offence, but you're not as important as you think you are. None of us really are. Unless you're like a, A-list celeb, you can really fuck things up. And as long as you don't insult somebody or anything like that, or really throw them under the bus, in 2 weeks, it's not going to matter. They'll have moved on. They'll have forgotten about it. You might just be a funny story they tell friends in 5 years, but your name won't be attached to that story. It will just be something that happened once. My wife and I like to think of this as like, oh, should we do this? Oh, I don't really want to do this. I'm afraid. I'm embarrassed, whatever. And you think, fuck it, in 2 weeks, they're not going to remember this. Just do it. And that's really the 13 things. So with all of those things said and done, the only other thing that you really need to do is practice whatever it is that you're trying to sell as a service. And this is, I don't know what the opposite of self-serving is. It's, self-sacrificing, I guess, is stop just looking at writing websites for advice on how to run a writing business. Go to marketing websites to understand how to properly market your business. Go to business growth websites. Go to websites that are aimed at founders of businesses for advice on how to better grow yourself as a business. And don't be afraid of failure. It's a great teacher. And like I said, within 2 weeks, most people have forgotten anyway. So, there's some downloads as well for a 3-month program which will help you get into the right mindset for 6-figure freelancing. And that can be found at haveaword.com. In the blog article that's linked to this should all be below, because I think the only places you'll be able to watch this are on YouTube and embedded in the article. So just scroll down and you'll find all of those downloads. But that's it for today. I guess we'll check back in a couple of months and see how you and I are getting on regrowing businesses back up to 6 figures again. But for the time being, good luck. Have a great 2020. All that bullshit. See you soon.